Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Inventory Management System tutorials based on MVC. Today is our lecture number 7 and I'm your instructor Ali Raza, and in today's class I'm going to discuss with you people about the purchase invoice that we have inside the inventory management system. In the previous lecture we have created certain tables with respect to the product and with respect to the purchase invoice and with respect to the purchase invoice details. In today's class we are going to create the user interface based on those tables that we have created inside the in the previous class. So let's have a look what we have today. So let me show you what work we have done up till now, so that you people can be up to date with me. And let's log in with the username and password. Okay, so that's my portal. I have created users and the user interface of the users portal, and along with the users portal we have roles, and then after roles we have categories. So all things we have added here. Okay, now in today's class आज हम लोगों ने क्या करना है, आज हम लोगों ने यहाँ पर अपने एक और UI बनाना है जिसका नाम है purchase invoice. Of course when we are creating a software or especially an inventory software, so we purchase products. Okay, so when we purchase products we should have stored that purchased products inside the database. So for that purpose पिछली क्लास के अंदर हम लोगों ने यहाँ पर कुछ tables बनाए थे. So let me show you the tables. Product ID, and then the purchase invoice table. This is my purchase invoice table, right? But the thing is different in today's lecture. That is, in the previous lectures we have created directly with the entity framework our user interface, our controller and our views. But in today's lecture we have to do something different. What is that different thing? Because we have to create the purchase invoice. Okay, inside that purchase invoice we have different things. So guys, in today's video we have to demonstrate that purchase invoice. Let's say we have a window with the name purchase invoice. Here we have only two things to take from the user interface, that is the date and the supplier, right? The rest of the things should go inside the products table, and then the other things should go inside the product details table or purchase invoice table. I hope it is clear to everyone. देखें यहाँ पर अगर अभी भी किसी को नहीं समझ में आई बात, तो we have the relational database. Okay, our data is split into tables 1, 2 and 3. These three tables will run or will work in parallel. ये parallel चलेंगे. कैसे? क्या मतलब इसका कि जब आप purchase invoice में होंगे, when you are in purchase invoice, so purchase invoice में भी डेटा जाएगा उसी टाइम पे, products के टेबल में भी डेटा जाएगा उसी टाइम पे, और purchase invoice details के टेबल में भी डेटा जाएगा उसी टाइम पे. I hope it is clear to everyone. ठीक है, लेकिन entity framework के अंदर आप डायरेक्टली ये काम कैसे करोगे? entity framework के अंदर जब आप when you are creating a controller, so by default you can select only one model. You cannot select multiple models together. So this is what we have to do. We have to customize our controller today. We cannot use the direct scaffolding approach. So I hope ये concept आपको clear हो गया होगा. So first of all, the thing that we have to do is we have to insert the purchase invoice, that is date and supplier ID. So for that purpose I have to first add my purchase invoice, my products table and my purchase invoice details table inside my data context class, or I have to generate the model classes for that. So for that purpose मैं यहाँ जाऊँगा और I will open my db.edmx file and I will update my database script here from here. Okay, alright, so right click on it and update model from database, and then look, it is retrieving the database information. So I have the tables that I have just created: purchase invoice details, products, purchase invoice and suppliers. I don't have suppliers in the back end. Look, if you see that at the back, so whatever the tables are, you select that tables, go to the stored procedures if you have any other stored procedures. Look, so I don't have any other stored procedures, I just have the tables. So select these tables, जो भी आपके पास tables हैं जो नए आपने बनाए हैं, and then all set, click finish. Alright, so if you notice here I have all the tables: supplier, purchase invoice detail, and the product. But the product ID is not related to the purchase invoice detail. It should be related to the purchase invoice detail. So we have to create a link between these two. So what we have to do, we have to go to our SQL, click for your SQL, sorry, okay, now we have to create a relationship between the products and the product purchase invoice details table, because we have the product ID here. So we have to make this as a foreign key, because one product can repeat multiple times in the purchase invoice details table. So let us open this table, purchase invoice details, and click design, and then go to its relationships and create another new relationship, give whatever name you want it to give, and then go to your table and column specification and select your products table, and from products table select the primary key ID, that is the product underscore ID, and inside the foreign key table you have the product ID as a foreign key. Okay, so this is how you can create a relationship graphically or with your UI in SQL. And then on update, no action; on delete, no action. Let's say if someone wanted to delete something from the products table, it will not be allowed from the SQL server that you can delete, because the data is already there in the purchase invoice table, so details table. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do, and press Ctrl S and save it. After saving this, come here and update model from database. Again you have to specify, okay, no updations are here. Refresh the tables, DBO, and I wanted to refresh the purchase invoice details table and products table. So okay, refresh it. Look, the relation is now created between the products table and the purchase invoice detail table. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so one product can have many details or many instances in the purchase invoice details table. So that's what we are trying to do. Now moving forward, we have to specify the controller for purchase invoice. So what we can do, just come here, right click on your controllers and click add, and then controller. If you use this one, then what will happen? Let's see. It is saying that please enter your model class. So by default you can provide, you are allowed to provide only one model class. Okay, but in this window I have to add other models also. So what can I do? For that purpose I can cancel this and right click on it and click add controller, and then controller with read write actions or controller with empty actions. Okay, so let me create an empty controller for that, and the name of my controller will be purchase invoice controller, and click add. Alright, so we have an empty controller created successfully, purchase invoice controller. Now let me create a view or an action method for, let's say, create, and this action method is my HTTP get. That means this is only used to display. Alright, so HTTP get, and then right click, add view, a view without any template, because I'm not going to use this, because you have to then select the model class, and then model class will only become one, but I have to use multiple classes here. So I'm skipping this template, I'm making and leaving it empty. So create as a partial view. It's up to you. If you are creating a partial view, you can create a partial view, and then you have to specify your partial view inside your project. So I'm not going to create a partial view. Instead I'm using this and click add. Alright, so this is my purchase invoice view, purchase invoice. Okay, leave it like this. Now you have to design the purchase invoice. Let's say the first thing you have to specify is the date of purchase. So I'm talking about this column. So date and supplier ID. So you need your date and supplier ID from database. So first of all, for date you have to specify an HTML form @HTML dot begin form and round brackets and curly brackets open and close. And one more thing you can do using HTML dot begin form like this. This is the more better way. Okay, we'll apply validations and all things, but right now I'm only designing the user interface of our purchase invoice. So the first thing we have to add @HTML dot label, and I need here what the first thing is the date. So date, and then we have to specify @HTML dot, or you can specify the editor for, and you can but editor for is not appropriate here, or you can do you can create a form without these HTML helper methods. Okay, so for date I'm using, let's say, input type equals to date. I'm using normal HTML date control, and then ID equals to date picker, and then name also equals to date picker, and then you have to apply the CSS class that we are using, the bootstrap and all that. But right now we have the focus on creating a user interface. After date, one more thing you have to specify, that is the BR tag, so that everything will appear on the new line. Copy this BR and paste it here. After applying the name, date, and then the date picker, next thing we have to call the supplier ID or the suppliers from the list. So @HTML dot label, you can use direct HTML controls, no problem, just for sake of giving an impression that we are using MVC views, so I'm using the Raza syntax. So suppliers, and then we have to specify the BR tag, and then the supplier should come from @HTML dot begin form, drop down list for, and we use the same procedure that we have used in the previous lectures for selecting the suppliers. Drop down list for, and then we have to pass the expression from our models that we have. So how can my drop down list will be, let me show you. आप लोग चले जाएं in the categories, no, not in categories, inside the users create. Look, here you have specified the drop down list. Okay, and in this drop down list you are applying, or you are passing what, let me show you, bracket open. The first thing is the name, and then you have to pass the enumerable list, and one more thing you have to see here, that is the drop down list for, and then you have to specify your model. Okay, so for this for model or for view for selecting the suppliers, we have to do something in the controller here. So I wanted to select my controllers, all the suppliers, in this particular view. So what I will do, variable, first of all create an object in the class, my db, or what was the name, entities, yes, my inventory db entities, obj equal to new inventory db entities, bracket open close. This is my data context class object, and now variable data equals to from x in, I'm using link directly, from x in obj dot suppliers, select x dot I have to select multiple things, so select supplier name only, but you have to take the ID also, the supplier ID. So for that purpose we have to specify first ID, comma, x dot, no, that's not the syntax. So guys, for that purpose, if you wanted to select multiple columns, you have to specify curly brackets and then write new outside curly brackets and select new x dot supplier id comma x dot supplier name, and put these two, this whole link statement inside round brackets, and then write here to list, because I wanted to convert this data inside a list. After that, what you have to do, you have to put this data inside some view bag or some other container. So guys, let me create a container that is view bag supplier list equals to, because what is the problem here, control dot, okay, sorry, because view bag is a dynamic property, so view bag dot supplier list equals to, now we have to specify our data as new select list, and then it is asking me to give the enumerable items along with the value, the data field and the value field. So the list is this, and then the data field is data dot, you can specify the column name, that is the supplier, no, you have to put it in double quotes, and what is the name of the column, that is supplier id, so right here sup underscore id, and then the next thing you have to specify is supplier underscore name inside this. So supplier list will be picked up as a new select list, and then I have passed this supplier list to my view bag. Now if I go to my users controller, let me show you, that's the model. Let us go to the users controller and check that how you have done inside this users view of create. That's my categories, and then these are my users. Come inside and look, we have the drop down list for, and then you are specifying what, the data source, and then you are specifying your view bag as a select list here. Okay, so same is the case we have to do at that point. So come inside here and go to its view, that is create, and drop down list for, what it is asking first, it is asking me a link expression, but I'm not going to because I don't have any model right now, so drop down list for is not good. Now it is asking me the name and then the label or the enumerable list. So how can I write, let's say I am writing the name, that is supplier, right, and then comma the enumerable list, that is view bag dot sub list. If I am not wrong, let us check, copy this name and paste it here, now it's fine, dot sub list as select list, right. So I have specified my list here. Let us check what is the result of this create up till now. So execute. Alright, so the user interface is there. We have a date time picker, by default the HTML control, and then we have suppliers, but look, suppliers are not coming here because I haven't created the suppliers window separately. So first of all I have to create the suppliers, I have to add that suppliers. So by using scaffolding in a minute we can do that. So let's stop and add suppliers. So right click, go to your controllers and use scaffolding, the magic controller, and select your MVC5 controllers with read write actions entity framework. So model class should be the supplier one. Where are my suppliers? Here is my supplier. The data context class is this, and generate views automatically, and then this is the side or layout page, and then click add. That's it. You can modify the user interface with as per your design and what are you following, I don't know. So you can use that design for your. So let's start and run the suppliers controller so that we can add the suppliers. So by default the name of the controller is supplier, right, no, if I'm not wrong, that suppliers, it is suppliers. So come here and write here S. So first of all we have to add suppliers. Let's say create. You can rename these all. I'm not going to rename these things again and again, because now I hope you can understand how to rename these all things and how to do something else. So supplier name, let's say Azam Traders, the name of the supplier, let's say, okay, and its address, let's say NN block F, and then phone number, you can write any phone number. You can apply validations also, you can apply regex also for with this phone number, okay, and then the opening balance, that is 0. I have mentioned already why I have used this opening balance, because if you have something to give or something to receive from this supplier, so you can start from here. So create. Okay, now my one supplier is added. Let me add another supplier. Let's say Tahir Co, and address should be Hyderabad, and street 2, and phone number anything, and then the opening balance is 0, and create. Now my two suppliers are added by default, and then now let's go to that window, that is purchase invoice, and create. Let's see what is happening. Look, automatically my suppliers are listing here. Now the next step is after adding date, after selecting the supplier, we have to add the product. What is the product that I'm going to purchase, and how can I store that product? What is the unit of that product? I mean to say that is the product is coming into pieces or into cartons. This is the main basic problem. So how can you specify here inside your database? Products, you have the name, the barcode, the expiry, but how can you add? You have to mention one thing here, that is the product is coming in pieces or the cartons. So you have to add 2 columns. Right click, or you can create a new query. Let me add a new query for that. Writing query is much more beneficial either going to the designer. So alter table, what is the name of my table? That is products, okay, products, add and specify the column name, that is pro underscore pieces. Either you select your product as pieces or you select your product as cartons, and you have to automatically multiply that with respect to cartons. So if you are selecting pieces, then it should be integer, and then I'm not adding not null here, okay, just add it. Commands completed successfully, pieces, and then quantity, sorry, not quantity, the cartons. So you have to specify the product cartons along with the pieces, okay. So execute it also. Now come back to your software and update your DBML so that your database will be updated. I have zoomed out. Now press Ctrl and scroll your mouse so that you can zoom in and zoom out with respect to this ERD. And now right click, update model and tables, and I have to update which table, or I have to refresh that table. Which table? The products table, and then finish. Now if you see here, I have product pieces and product cartons. So this is updated. Let me zoom in so that you can view it properly. Look, pieces and cartons, two properties are also created here. Now moving forward, inside our user interface, if I go to the browser, and here what I have to do, I have to first take the name of that product and then the barcode of that product. So where is the barcode inside my database? Here we have the barcode already. So the name of the product and then the barcode. Just go to your create view, and now create a label, copy it and then paste it, and what you will write here? The product name, okay, product name, and then you have to specify a text box or an editor for that product, okay. So what can I write here? @ okay, right here br also, because it is also a line break. Then @html dot editor, and the name of the editor will be product name. That's the product name, comma, and then that's the string expression, and then if you have additional things, then you can specify the additional thing. Okay, so the editor name is product name. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, product name, and then after this what we have to specify the barcode of that product. So copy this code and this code together and paste it right below these two, and then the product barcode. So that's the heading, and it becomes okay. Do write the names without space. Always remind this thing that you have to specify the coding names without space. So barcode, look, that's my display, that's why I have applied space. That's my editor, and this is the name of that editor, so you do not write space here. Okay, so let us save this and run it again. Let's see what will be displayed. Close other instances. Using Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge is more likely to be useful, because ASP.NET belongs to Microsoft and those browser also belongs to Microsoft, so the rendering of the controls is more quicker than Chrome and Firefox and all that. So now I have two text boxes with the name product. So look, these two data will go in a separate table, and the data now I'm going to take here will store in a separate table. So here you need the manual work, not everything can be automized. So this is what I'm trying to say here. Now let's go after barcode. What we have to specify in the products table? The expiry date of that product. Okay, so again we have to add the date one. So for date I have this thing, so copy this code and paste it here, the date, and it should be the expiry date, and then date time picker, the name should be expiry picker. So ex date picker and ex date picker. Okay, that's my another date column, expiry. Now two more things we have here. If I refresh this, right click, refresh, now I have columns, the pieces and cartons. Okay, so it's your choice in which quantity you are taking the data. Most of the time we are buying the cartons, and in one carton you have how many pieces you have to specify here. Okay, in one carton you have how many pieces you have to specify here. So for that purpose I am going to pick up this code and write here, paste here, and that enter here number of cartons. Okay, number of cartons, because you are not buying one single dairy milk, right, or you are not buying one single Pepsi or Coke or any other thing. You are buying in terms of crates or in terms of cartons or in terms of boxes, whatever you have you can specify that name. So number of cartons of that particular product, let's say in the editor it should be the carton text, it should be the name of my text box. So number of cartons, let's say 5. Okay, how many number of products are there in one carton? You have to specify that. So what can you write? You can write here, copy and paste it, and you can write here per carton quantity. What is the quantity of one carton? I hope it is clear to everyone. So we will multiply it when we receive the data, we will multiply it. Alright, so carton text, number of cartons, and then per carton quantity. So what will happen eventually, when you insert data inside this products table, you insert cartons. Okay, and based on this carton you are also specifying on your user interface that one carton can have, let's say, 10 products. So 2 cartons can have 20 products. So this multiplication you do on that on your controller, and then the total number of pieces will be fetched out from that multiplication. I hope it is clear to everyone. On the user interface you are asking the total number of cartons. Let's say you are buying 5 cartons of dairy milk, and one carton of dairy milk is containing, let's say, 25 pieces. So 5 into 25 gives you 125. So 125 will be stored inside pieces. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so this is how you can maintain the inventory inside your database. But one more thing I have to mention here, that is the stock. Where is our stock table? Still we don't have the stock table, so we have to create a stock table, and we have to store these things, the pieces and the cartons of the from the purchase invoice inside the stock. So it's better to add these purchase invoices, pieces and cartons. You have to store this inside the stock table. So let us create a new query for that. Create table stock, and then we have to specify the stock ID, that is in big integer, let's say, and not null, and then it should be identity, and then it also should be the primary key, and then you have to specify the product ID, that is also, what is the product ID data type? It's integer, so you have to specify it integer, not null, foreign key, and then because it should be the reference between the product table and the stock table, so references, and then what you have to specify here, the table name. The table name is products, and then the product ID, pro underscore ID, if I'm not wrong, yes, pro underscore ID, and then on delete, what you have to do, no action, and on update you have to specify no action, right? So this is the thing that we have done up till now. Now next step, the product quantity. Okay, so I'm adding quantity here, so quantity, and it should be in integer, but quantity with respect to carton, or you can write here pro carton. Okay, and you have to specify it in integer because cartons are in integer, and you have to specify quantity with respect to pieces as well. Okay, so integer, but here you have to specify, do you have to specify the overall quantity? I think it's enough, but one thing you have to specify, that this product this stock is belong to which purchase invoice ID, and the purchase invoice ID is big integer, so right here big int, and then not null, and it should be the foreign key also, because you are creating a reference between the purchase invoice and the stock. Okay, you are adding the stock of which purchase invoice, you have to specify this also. ये बात clear है सब लोगों को? Okay, so foreign key, and copy this and paste it here, and now instead of this you have to write here this table, that is purchase invoice, press F2 and copy it and paste it here, and then the column name is PI underscore ID, so right here PI underscore ID. I hope it is clear to everyone, right? So product ID, cartons, pieces, and the stock on which purchase invoice ID. So this is the table that we have to create also. So execute, commands completed successfully. Now let us add this table also inside our MyDB data context designer. So right click, update model from database, tables, DBO, and look, you have stock, and finish, and the relationships will be created automatically. If you notice, let me zoom it out. So this is my stock table. Now zoom in. I hope you are looking at this particular stock. If you zoom in, now it's fine. The relationship is between product and stock, and the stock and the purchase invoice. Okay, so this is how you can create your overall schema. Save this, and now go to your database, and one thing you have to do is to remove these cartons and pieces from here, because you are storing already inside the stock, so you don't need to add here. One more thing I must tell you, if someone is assuming that why I am creating one thing and then I am deleting that thing, so because I am right now doing live development of the software, and it is recording also, and I am teaching also, so all the things are working together. So I hope you have you understand this particular problem. So delete this column, okay, pieces, and also delete this carton from this one. Okay, now it's fine. Just come here and right click and update again, delete. Okay, refresh your tables. Which table? The products table, and refresh. So save it, and after saving it, close it and reopen it so that you can see the actual updated view of your mydb.edmx. They are still coming here. So okay, so this is an error. Pro_pieces is not mapped, so you have to do something for this. Right, so if the error is persisting in front of you, so right click on this particular thing and save it, and delete it, and then save it. Right, now let's build the project and check. Yes, build succeeded. Okay, so you have updated your database and your MyDB data context. Now close that, and now come here and continue your design. So now these two things will go in a other table. So look, this one user interface is going to have multiple tables together. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now moving forward, after adding cartons, what you have to specify here? Barcode, then number of cartons and pieces, then what you have to take. Let us go to the database, and you have to specify. Then you have taken this, you have taken this, you have taken barcode name, expiry date, and refresh your tables. Okay, now we have stock. In stock table we have taken the product ID, and then we have the carton, pieces, purchase invoice ID, done, and then we have to specify the product invoice details. Here we have something, the purchase ID and the product ID. This should also be taken when we store the purchase ID and the product ID. So now moving forward, what's next we have to do? After creating or after entering these details, we have to change something. What we have to change? We have to move this product barcode right besides the product name, and then all the details, because product name, barcode, price, the quantity and the buying price and all that. Yes, price is missing still here. So these things, because you are buying multiple products from a particular supplier, so you should have to display here that you are buying multiple products. Right, so let me add the price. Where we have price mentioned inside the all these tables? Do we have the price thing? Okay, purchase invoice, no. Products, no. So where is my price? So we have to specify the price bought at. What is the selling price and what is the buying price? How can I specify that? And where can I store that price? So we have to store the price of that product here inside the products table. Okay, so go to the queries and alter table products pro_buying price, and then it should be money, and execute, and it should be the selling price also, and it is money. I hope it is clear to everyone. Alright, so columns, and now look, buying price and selling price. Once again you have to update your MyDBML. So I recommend you people to please plan first and then design your database. So I wanted to update refresh my tables. Let us refresh, and then I have the buying price and the selling price already here. Okay, and now after buying price and selling price, just go to the view and remove this BR, because I wanted to display these things together. So number of cartons and the product name, barcode, all things should come in line. So product name, then barcode, it should be on new line, and then the new line should not be there. Product name, no, it should be line break. Here it should be the line break, and then product barcode, and then we have to specify a line break also, where we should take we should remove this barcode, this BR from here and this BR from here, and save it, and then expiry, and then after expiry this barcode should be removed, and then after carton this barcode should be removed. Product number of cartons, quantity, and then we have to specify, copy this one and paste it here. Okay, so here you can specify the buying price, and then right here buying text. Okay, and then the price, selling price should not be here, because we will set the selling price afterwards, after we purchase the products. Okay, once we purchase the product, and then we'll set the selling price later on, after purchasing the product at buying price. So selling price will become null by default. Okay, so let us save it and run it. What is the result? So guys, this is what the display we have. Now we have to arrange it inside a table and inside a particular row. Okay, so let us go and create a table here. The first thing we have to do is to create a table. So table, and close the table tab and come inside, specify the table row and close that, and instead of table row you have specified table heading, and this heading should come inside table row. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, so the first heading should be the product. You have to select the product heading, and then the next heading will be what was the user interface. Okay, product, then the barcode, then expiry date. So the next heading will be barcode, and then you have to specify. So after barcode we have the expiry and the number of cartons. So copy this and paste it and paste it. So this is the expiry, and then number of cartons, and then what we have after that, per carton quantity and buying price. So number of cartons, then per carton quantity, QUAN quantity, and then what else, the buying price. So let me write here buying price. After that save it, and now click or create another row TR, and inside that TR you have to specify that particular thing, that is the product name. So copy this or cut this, paste here inside a TD, table data, and paste it here. Inside this TD you have to paste what, the label. We don't need label now because we have specified it already in the heading. So instead of that, cut this code and paste it here. I hope it is clear to everyone. So that's my first TD. Now the next TD should be here, table data, close, and inside this you have to specify the barcode. So cut this code and paste it here, and after that you have to specify the next TD. So copy this and okay, not copy that, write td and td close. First of all, copy and paste these tds so that you don't have to specify again and again. Okay, so I have pasted number of times. Now I wanted to place the expiry inside the expiry td. The first thing is name, then we have barcode. Let me zoom out it, and then we have to specify the expiry. After expiry, what we have? Number of cartons. So pick up number of cartons editor, Control X, and then specify here inside this td number of cartons, and then we have the pieces text. So cut it and specify here in this td, and then specify the last thing, that is the buying price. So remove this and paste here, and then remove this last td, I don't need it. So that's what a table will be created with respect to my all the fields. So remove these headings, I don't need these headings, and this supplier and the date should come upward above the table. So Control X and Control V, save it. Now run it, let's see what will happen. Alright guys, so what we are going to achieve here, look, you enter your name, then barcode, then the expiry date and the number of cartons, then product per carton quantity and the buying price, and the last thing we have to add here is the button. So when we add the when we click that button, these details will be added inside a new table that we will generate dynamically. But I think that's all for today, and we'll continue later in the next classes because the time is about to finish. So hopefully you have enjoyed this particular tutorial, and if you haven't understood anything, please do write me and do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.